All right, guys, welcome to another Schmolke Investment Team practice report. LSU practice number 7 had basically a modified scrimmage today out on the LSU practice fields. They were originally going to be in Tiger Stadium. Change of plans yesterday. We're out there today, and we got to see a whole lot. And certainly Garrett Nussmeier hampered with a slight ankle injury. Brian Kelly tells us he'll be back either tomorrow or Saturday, and he'll be fine. But Jaden Daniels, Miles Brennan getting a majority of the reps. But even still, there's no doubt in my mind that Walker Howard is your best arm, your best athlete. He had some runs. And so we're going to talk about that and a lot more today. And we'll welcome in Buddy Songy.
Good to see everybody on this Thursday afternoon. First time in about 20 plus years, folks, that we were out here and actually saw the duration of a 2-hour plus practice and opened up a lot of eyes. I'll get to some of these position battles, Mike, right out of the gate. At center, Charles Turner, 69. He was the center and the starter all spring. Garrett Dellinger. As we said in the spring, when 66, Will Campbell fit at left tackle, they're hoping that 72, Garrett Dellinger, can fit at center and move on. But Charles Turner's in the battle with him, so 69 and 72 battling at center. Noah Kane and John Emery still taking turns. Kane has been very smooth and solid. Right now, you got to expect both of those guys to play. A big battle at tight end. Mike told me about Mason Taylor this summer when he saw him. Folks, Mason Taylor, the son of Jason Taylor, is going to play a lot of football. Nick Storrs, obviously Cole Taylor, Jack Matchman, but Mason Taylor is going to be a guy that we feel like will be starting at some point. And here's the big kicker that I took from. Remember I mentioned Major Burns last report. He was getting reps in front of Joe Fouché today. So a lot of battles going on. We'll tell you about special teams. We'll tell you about some more tidbits. But as always, appreciate all of you tuning in and watching us and viewing on this cloudy but much cooler Thursday afternoon.
Absolutely. If you're enjoying the report, please hit that like button. It's very much appreciative. It really helps us with the YouTube algorithm. We were probably, at midway point of Brian Kelly's presser, and I'm starting to look to flag down the microphone because I wanted to ask about Mason Taylor. And as soon as I looked around, he addressed him. And, last week he mentioned about guys flashing when he talked about Harold Perkins. Well, Mason Taylor flashes, and I think he's going to be a guy who you can't keep off the field. I think he's a bona fide pass-catching receiver. He's obviously got the genetics with his dad, and I think he's going to be fantastic for LSU. So if he can stay healthy, I think they've got a great tight end. And, Coach Kelly was asked about, going more spread, and he believes in having a tight end on the field, and certainly that helps them run the football. And so I think he's going to be the guy. I don't know how many, who's the starter week 1, but I don't think it's going to be long before it's Mason Taylor. Obviously, the media out there today counting reps, which quarterbacks got the most, and certainly Nussmeier not participating, other than in some drills he was out there throwing some. But in the scrimmage reps, he didn't get any. I thought Walker Howard maybe got slighted a bit of reps, but I don't know that they're already starting to set the table. But again, like I said in the last report, I'm starting to increase my odds on it being Jaden Daniels. You say it's going to be both of them are going to play, 2 quarterbacks going to play. But I'm starting to lean more and more to Jaden Daniels being the guy.
Yeah, a lot of talk about Nussmeier winning the player locker room for what he has done. Remember now, folks, he only played in 4 games and he wanted to keep the red shirt. So this is a guy that has not started a game in college football. Jaden Daniels has started 29 games. He's scored and been involved with 45 touchdowns, 32 passing and 13 via the run. Unfortunately, I wanted to see more from Jaden Daniels. Number 5 continuously is having problems, and this is just early opinion, but he goes through his progressions of read, and after his first read or his second read, he tucks it and runs. Didn't throw it that consistent. Miles Brennan had a lot of good throws, but as soon as they got pressure on him, he didn't throw it as well. And of course, as you said, Walker Howard not getting a lot of reps because Mike, another guy that's never started or played in a college game, and that's why Walker is probably going to be 4th on the chart right now. But a work in progress at quarterback. I think the Tiger fans have got to realize you're going to see a lot of dink and dunk and short passes. They had the 2 tight ends. You're going to have some power run formations, but you're going to throw to the backs out the backfield. And oh, by the way, Kayshon Boutte now can duplicate what Jamar Chase did his sophomore year. He is big. He looks like Chase. He's a solid 205. And number 7 is here to make some money in his final year at LSU.
You know, I saw some plays where I thought Jaden Daniel was actually pretty effective, but
Yeah.
there's no doubt. I saw Miles Brennan. Of course, we know he's got an arm. He was having some velocity issues. You know, you're ending week 1 of practice. I think there might be a little bit of arms getting a little fatigued, and you know maybe they need a day or 2 off. But you know, Brian Kelly singled out Walker Howard, and it's just there's no doubt. I mean, we go down media row and on that sideline, and everybody's doing and on about Walker Howard's throws. It's just, you know, but he is the true freshman, and he's going to likely head to a red shirt. But still, one thing I did also notice today, I was really keying in on Will Campbell, and he held his own against Mason Smith and Ali Gay coming off the edge, and he looks absolutely fantastic. I mean,
Will Campbell starting the left tackle, of true freshman, 6'6", 325. Tremont Sharts, of course, coming over in the transfer portal from East Tennessee State, 6'5", 340. Dellinger's 320. Charles Turner's 295. If Dellinger starts, Mike, I calculated this yesterday, still on the right side, Miles Frazier, 323. And, of course, Anthony Bradford, who's 345. And like all of us, Bradford could stand to lose another 5 or 10, and we'll see if they get that off. But those guys are, if you definitely answer the question about who's going to be your center, and if Dellinger, you average about 6'5", 327. That is Notre Dame-like size. Back to the quarterbacks, I just want to stress. Folks, it's one thing to see quarterbacks throwing into a net, see quarterbacks throwing against air. It's another thing when they send the pressure in, and that's one of the things that Miles has got to get better at. As we saw, he's throwing the ball beautifully. As soon as there's some pressure and that pocket, you got to learn how to step up. You got to learn to take your little.
I also saw him taking time to make a decision.
Yeah, and so there's still a lot of work to be done. If you think this is going to be a fine-tuned oil machine on offense on the night of September 4th, you probably need to take a chill pill and a patience pill.
This practice report brought to you by the Schmolke Investment Team has over 45 years of combined experience in handling their clients' financial needs, and this financial environment experience matters. Call Bart or Brian Schmolke at 318-448-3201. That's 318-448-3201. Remember, experience matters. Securities offered through LPL, financial member FINRA/SIPC. Known Bart and his son for over 20 years. No finer people, right there in central Louisiana, office in Alexandria. Give them a call to number if you have any financial needs, any retirement account needs, any questions. You couldn't be in better hands than you could be with them for setting up your retirement, any investments. Again, 401k, SEPs, you name it, they're who you want to talk to.
You know, Coach Kelly is incredibly meticulous and organized, and certainly as you see the layout of practice, every little inch is planned out. But he did make a couple faux pas on some names today, so don't beat him up. Colby Richardson is a kid that he gave props to, and he is a grad transfer from McNeese, number 22. Look, Mackay wearing number 2. Jared Bernard Converse, I watched him a little bit. He looked good. 7 Banks. Now, Kobe, you got 4 corners. And, of course, I have to ask about special teams. Mike, they've got to be a little worried, as they did tell us Malik Neighbors, Sage Ryan, 7 Banks, and Javen Nicholas, another guy that came in late.
From St. Aug.
From St. Aug. Those 4 are in punt return. He said on kickoff return, 1 guy will fair catch and 1 guy will return it to the house. But they don't have a kicker right now. If there was a game on Saturday, I don't know who would be place kicking, who would be kicking off. We know Jay Bramlett's going to be the punter. We know Jay Bramlett's going to be the holder. And we know that Slade Roy is going to be the deep snapper. But still a work in progress. And people that I'm talking to think this defense is going to be ahead of the offense early in the season, and also think they can be nasty, Mike.
Well, and that's probably right. And but I will say today, a position we have not talked about. I thought Armani Goodwin looked pretty darn good today. Emory had some nice receptions. I'm gonna have all that. I'm telling you, because we were in there. What did we get? Probably about 30 to 45 minutes of being able to shoot video today before they told us cameras down. My video package that we're gonna have on Tiger Bait is gonna be huge. Nobody shoots video better than we do. Go subscribe to Tiger Bait. Try us out for $1. If you're an LSU fan, we really want to have you be a part of our Tiger Bait community. Our Tiger Den message board is growing with a lot of new content. And so a lot of recruiting stuff. Of course, a big one last night. Ricky Collins commits to LSU. And now we wait for Kylan Jackson Saturday afternoon. We've got a projection in for him. That's been in for months to LSU. So Brian Kelly is absolutely riding a wave. He was asked about that in his post-game press conference. That full press conference will be uploaded to our Tiger Bait YouTube page right here where you're watching us now. And so, but he just thinks the reason why there's been such a mad rush when they were sitting at 5 commitments the end of May and parts of June was due to the fact they just needed to establish relationships, new staff, and what a whirlwind they're on right now. And the opposite is in College Station, Texas, where they're nervous and wondering what the heck's going on after a #1 recruiting class last year. LSU right now on the recruiting trail is your hot and sexy football team with a top 10 recruiting class, and we're going to see how high it goes.
Look at you using that word. Look, still no Jack Bash, shin splint, still no Chris Hilton, constant hammy problems. Matthew Langlois got a little bit dinged. Major Burns did have a little cut over the knee. They patched him up. That to me, we mentioned Major Burns. I thought he was running around and confident. Coach Kelly talked about his IQ. Him and Joe Fouché battling there. And as we know, like middle linebacker, this guy, Wes Weeks, I know you've seen him on the film, but watch big number 33. Now, he came over from Virginia and is a transfer. Of course, Mike Jones is still in there with Greg Penn. Mike Jones is a little gimpy right now. You can tell he's fighting through a little bit of an ankle problem. He didn't want to sit down because he'll lose his spot. Micah Baskerville, Kobe Fields, and I finally saw DeMario Tolan and Harold Perkins. He went out of his way to mention Harold Perkins. Tolan's 32, Perkins is 10. 2 freshmen you're going to see play. How much on special teams versus during the games, obviously yet to be determined.
All right, guys, this is your Schmolke Investment Team practice report. Buddy and I are live tonight on Tiger Bait Live, 8 o'clock. So tune in, and we'll be taking your questions and comments. We're going to go a full hour between 8 and 9. LSU Tigers on Tiger Bait right here on this channel. We're doing it tonight instead of Wednesday night because of Ricky Collins last night. Preston went live afterwards. And so we're tonight from 8 to 9. Be sure to tune in. And when's our next opportunity out here?
Monday.
We'll be back out here Monday. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you back here on Monday and again tonight on Tiger Bait Live.